Ever since I was a little kid, I always thought handstands were really cool. But I was always the tall kid, I was always very long and lanky, and I just never had the ability or the confidence to even give it a go. I never did a cartwheel, I never did any gymnastics, but I always looked onto it thinking how cool that would be to do one day. It's been one of those goals that sat on my bucket list for a really long time, but I've always been fearful to give it a go because I just feel like my body type isn't right for it, and I'm kind of scared, to be honest. Going upside down and really committing to doing a handstand, there's a fear inside me. I have momentum just finishing my mobility challenge, and I really want to give it a go and commit just for 30 days to see, can I progress? And maybe even at the end of it, can I actually hold a handstand? I've got 30 days. I'm gonna have coaching from a really great hand balancer. I'm gonna give it my all, and hopefully I can see some progress and maybe even hold a handstand. So let's do it.
It is day one of my handstand challenge. Just rocked up at where is going to be my first lesson, thinking that it's going to be a lot of core work, a lot of shoulder mobility, wrist mobility, body control, a lot of the little things to work on. Glad that I had the flexibility month that I've just done. Excited to give it a go. I think it's going to be a little bit scary as well, honestly, being upside down and potentially falling on your head. So there's a fear element, kind of like the backflip challenge.
So this month I'm going to be learning from an amazing hand balancer called Sundi. Sundi can do some incredible stuff when it comes to hand balancing. He took me through some of the most important things to be ready to even give it a go. Firstly, there's things like getting your body mobile, and it's really important that your wrists are really mobile so that you don't actually strain them. And that's a common injury that people might have with hand balancing. It's also really important, of course, to get the shoulders nice and warm and your whole body kind of stretched and ready, your core activated so it knows to be tight when you are in that position. So after doing that warm up, I was ready to give my first handstand against the wall a go.
Keep pushing up, a little bit closer if you can. Yeah, and now push up as hard as you possibly can for your shoulders.
I feel scared that I'm gonna fall. Like, can they come down to the side?
Yeah, you can come down to the side. So yeah, there's a few ways, like coming off the wall. This is you can like first. Coming off the wall, you can slide down. The way that I teach is like this. So we're in a handstand, we're falling over. We step the hand forward and we do a quarters turn in. Don't need any like crazy acrobatic ability or anything. The forward breaks the momentum. It's kind of like putting the brakes on the floor. The inward turn encourages our body to rotate around and not fall like flat on our back, which is everyone's like greatest fear pretty much. So
Yeah, like when I was in that position, I felt quite strong and comfortable.
Yeah.
But my concern is, am I going to be able to walk back down?
I'm starting to realize that this is going to be a really big challenge for me. My body just doesn't feel kind of comfortable in that handstand position. Being upside down against the wall is really strenuous on my body. So I definitely got to have a lot of strength that I'm going to need to build. When I am holding that handstand against the wall, I start to freak out a little bit. You know, my coach wants me to hold it longer and longer, but I know if I get to my breaking point, I'm just going to fall straight on my head. So I kind of want to give out a little bit earlier than I need to. I really need to build that strength up and that confidence. I also just found it difficult to do maybe some of those simple things like kick into a wall. It's probably going to take me a little while just to be comfortable in that position and kicking into a wall. Hopefully I can figure those things out and then start progressing. Basically every day what I'll be trying to do is a warm-up, which will involve getting my shoulders, wrists and core and everything, you know, warm and ready to be worked out. And then I'll be doing some walks up the wall in a handstand position. And that way with my stomach towards the wall, I can start building strength and getting comfortable with that alignment. Then I can also do some kick-ups against the wall. You just really want to maximize the amount of time that you're spending in a handstand position. It's going to give you the body awareness, that's going to give you the strength, and it's going to give you eventually the technique that you're going to leverage to do a freestanding handstand. So that's really going to be one of my aims.
Even against the wall, I can barely only hold him for like 30 seconds. One thing I'm really struggling with is put my back to the wall and kick into the wall. I still haven't successfully got up without someone helping me, so I'm gonna attempt that. Ugh, I don't like doing this. This is hard. It is day 6 of the handstand challenge. I am making very, very slow progress. So time to do a good little workout and hopefully get some traction, some improvements. One thing that I haven't had a lot of experience on is actually balancing on my wrists. When you're balancing on the floor, if I lean forward, I put pressure on my toes to stop me from falling over. And if I lean back, I put pressure on my heels to stop me from falling over. And so the same applies when I'm balancing on my hands. If I'm leaning forward, I push on the front. If I'm leaning back, I push on the back, right? How do I actually learn that skill? One of the ways that you can do that is do this frog handstand, which I'll show you in a second, and practice balancing. It is day 13 of the challenge, so I've got 17 days to figure out how to handstand. And I gotta say, this has been a lot more difficult than I expected. It's interesting chatting to people about handstands. Some people are like, yeah, you're gonna pick it up instantly, or can't you already handstand? And then some people that have actually gone through a handstand course, they're like, you're not gonna pick that up in a month. Like, there's no way. One thing that I'm finding is my body gets tired after a big session so that I can't just jump back into it the next day. People say like you could get really bad wrist pain, so you really wanna be careful with your wrists. Interestingly, my wrists have been totally fine, but it's my shoulders that are really getting like pumped from a big session. I still haven't really fully like figured out that technique of like kicking into the wall consistently, locking out my arms properly. My arms don't fully lock out. You can see like they don't go fully straight. Most people's arms can go straight. Mine doesn't seem to lock out. And so that's definitely another thing that makes it just a little bit more challenging. It doesn't make it not possible, it just adds another layer of difficulty and possibly needing more strength to counteract. 17 days left, that is not a lot of time. I just need to get as much time as I can upside down so I can just get it to click in the brain. So I just don't think my shoulders can like bear my weight anymore at the moment. I've been putting in some big sessions. They're just burnt out, and I want to keep pushing it, but I just don't think my body is kind of really allowing me. I think I'm going to focus on maybe getting a good day's rest, particularly in the shoulders. and then try to give it my all tomorrow and see what I can pull out. But yeah, this is one of the annoying things with this challenge. There's just only so much capacity you can put through your shoulders and your wrists before you need to take a break. You can't just keep pushing through. Today is my last day to finally nail a handstand. Odds aren't looking amazing for me given my progress and my strength. I've got 2 sessions with 2 different instructors. I got one in the morning with a guy called Paris from Praxis, and then I've got my teacher Sundi, who's been teaching me all month afterwards. I'm just gonna give it my all. See what happens.
Did I get you in the head?
Yeah, but it's not.
Sorry.
Like, no. But that hold.
That was my father test.
That was my father longest. Yeah, see, I don't care about that.
So that brings me to the end of my handstand challenge. I started off scared being upside down and really struggling holding anything in that upside down position to getting kind of comfortable and being able to hold my handstands against the wall for around 45 seconds. And I was also really excited to see that I did get some freestanding handstands. Yes, they weren't quite perfect and with a little bit of help here and there, but I did get some freestanding for a few seconds. I do want to continue with this, and hopefully maybe next month or the next couple of months I can actually kick in and hold our handstand for over 10 seconds, which was the original goal. So I'm going to keep working on that. And if you do want to follow my progress with that, you can follow me on Instagram at Max Hertan. I want to give a big shout out to my teachers, particularly Sundi, and he's got this amazing resource if you want to learn handstands yourself. So you can check that out in the link in the description. To tell you about next month's challenge, so I've already started it. I'm already 15 days deep. I'm trying to learn the Flight of the Bumblebee on piano, which is insanely hard. And because I'm traveling for the next 20 or so days, I've kind of got a head start, and then I'm going to give 15 days or so when I get back. So if you want to see an insane piano piece and me trying to learn that, it's going to be a real challenge.
So this video is sponsored by Skillshare, which is a learning community for creators, and it has more than 25,000 courses. And with a premium membership, you get unlimited access to every single class. There's classes in things like graphic design, business, entrepreneurship, and even music production, which is something that I found pretty interesting. And if you go and check my EDM challenge from back in the day, some of those tips were really useful in actually creating a track and learning all about music production. There's over 7 million creators now using Skillshare, and if you join using my link, the first 500 people will get free access for the first 2 months. You can cancel at any time, and it's only $10 after that per month if you do want to continue and you do want to invest in yourself and continue learning. So I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and you can click the link in the description if you do want to get that 2-month free trial. And thank you as always for watching the video, and as always, happy learning.